Yes, Priyanka, let's start with self-introduction.
Yeah. Good evening, Ashok. I'm Priyanka. I began my career in Feb 2023 as a and I have 3+ years of experience in Dynamic 365 CRM. And I have started my career at SPA PLC Enterprise Infosys Private Limited as a technical consultant. And in my current organization, I have been working for past 3 years, and I have involved in multiple projects where I have gained multiple like strong experience in customization and out of box functionalities. And then coming to in my current organization, I have involved in many tasks, and I have hands-on experience on customizations like forms creations, fields creation, entities and views and dashboards, and development activities like JavaScript plugins, business rules, and workflows. And I have involved in implementation support project, mostly involved in um, development activities. And In my day-to-day life, I have collaborate with the team through Jira Sync-up call regarding the requirements. And I have worked on the assigned tasks and get back to them through the Jira and sync-up calls. And To summarize my skill set, I have strong experience in customization, CRM customization, and working knowledge on Power Automate technology like Canvas apps, Power Portals, model-driven apps, and I have knowledge on the Copilots and SSRS reports. That's all about me.
So what are components do we have in CRM?
In CRM, we have like main components as entities and model-driven apps, and like uh, security roles and dashboards and processes and SDK profile processing. Those are all the components available in the CRM.
Okay. So what are all subcomponents are there for entity?
Entity subcomponents are like fields, forms, views, charts. Those are all the entity subcomponents, keys, and
So
dashboards.
so what is the ownership of the entity?
Yeah, in entity ownership, we have two types. One is user or team, and the one is organization. We can give user or team only for some metadata entities like information, and organization we can give for the master data informations. If you give entity as user node, then this entity will accessible only the specific team members. If you give entity as organization, then it will be accessible across the system. And if you give entity as organization, then share and ration options are not available for this organization type entities. And uh, and we have the owner field also not there for this organization type entities.
Okay, so what is security model do we have in CRM?
Yeah, we have security models like role based security, field level security, and record level security, and hierarchy security. If you want to control the data across the table level, then we can go for the role based security. If you control the data across field level, then we go for the field level security. If you control the data at a record level, then we go for the record level security. If you control the data at hierarchical manner, then we go for the hierarchical security.
So what are all privileges are there in CRM?
Yeah, we have create, read, write, append to, share, assign. Those are all privileges are there in the CRM.
So what is the importance of append and append to?
Yeah, append to privileges are mostly used for parent-child relationship, and in parent-child relationship, append to we have to give it for the parent entity, and append privilege we have to give for the child entity.
Okay, what are all access levels are there?
Access levels, okay. Non-user, business unit, parent-child business unit, and organization.
So what is the purpose of each one of them?
Okay. if you select access level as user, then he access only his own records. If you give access level as business unit, then he can access the only his unit level records. If you give access of the parent child business unit, then he can access his or her own records and also child related records. If you give access as the organization, then he can access the all the records regarding the organization.
Okay. So how do we configure the record level, like access team templates? Can you just explain about the steps?
Yeah. XST templates. First of all, we have to enable the entity for access team. Then we have to create the access team template, and we have to edit on the edit in the form. So we have to go to the particular entity, and then we have to add that have to, in entity properties we have to select that option as access team, and then we have to create the access team templates, and then we have to go to the form as a subgrid, and we have to add the template in the uh, subgrid level. We have to give the entity as users, and we can give that created template as the team template option there. These are all the steps for the existing templates.
And what are all privileges are there for the field security profile?
Yeah. Create update create update privileges are there for the field security profile.
Let's say I have a requirement. I do have the two forms in account entity, form A, form B. So I want to control the, like, if I log in with the user A, I want to show form A. If I log in with the user B, I want to show form B. So how can we achieve this requirement?
Can you please repeat the question?
So there are two. I have account entity. In
Okay.
account entity, I have two forms, form A, form B. And I do have two user logins. Let's say user 1, user 2. If I log in with user 1, I'll just assume Ashok and Priyanka. If I log in with Ashok, I wanted to show only form A. If I log in with Priyanka, I wanted to show only form B. Other form it should not show. So how can we achieve this requirement?
By using the we can add the form level security. By using that one, we can achieve this type of requirement.
Like form level security means, can you just give me the clear steps?
Yeah. For suppose we have two forms, right?
Mm, 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 mm.
For user one, we have to create. For suppose if Ashok is there, for that we have to create the one form for the one form for the Ashok, and
Form's
we have
already
to.
there.
Yeah. Okay. So for that we have to give the security roles, security permissions for that forms.
So
In
what security permissions do we need to give?
we don't want to see the records, right? So
Not a
we can
records, form only.
yeah. For that we don't we have to give only create update, because we don't show the forms.
Yeah. So I want to control the visibility of the form, not the records.
Okay.
Yeah, how do we do?
Visibility of the form, not that. Okay. For that we have to give one in form level, we have to give some security permissions like read access, so we can control the visibility of that form.
Sorry?
We can give that particular form to some security permissions like read access, then we can control the visibility.
Read access. Yeah. Okay. And let's say I have a requirement. So I do have the dashboard in system. Okay. But my dashboard I wanted to show only for the managers, not for the normal users.
Okay.
How can we control?
Yeah, for that, first of all, we have to create some security role for the manager. So based on that security role, we have to give the we have to open some dashboards. For that, we have to give the permissions for that dashboard level to that user. Security permissions on dashboard level.
Okay. And do you have experience with plugins?
Yeah, I have
Uh,
experience.
how
Like
many plugins you have implemented in your career?
nearly like 5 to 6.
Okay, so what are all messages are there in plugin?
Yeah. In plugins, we have create, update, delete, associate, and yeah, dissociate and retrieve multiple. These type of messages are there in the plugins.
Okay, so I have a requirement. The requirement is, let's say, user has logged in. I will explain the user navigation. You just let me know what are all plugins we can trigger during this navigation.
Okay.
So user just logged into the CRM and he just selected the accounts in the sitemap account entity. Left side we have entities, right? He
Yeah.
selected the accounts. Then he just opened one of the account and he updated the record. So during this process, what are all possibilities, like what kind of plugins we can execute in this navigation process?
What kind of messages are what?
What kind of messages?
Okay. For that, we have to give the update, and we can give also retrieve all like that.
Can you just give me in sequence based on the user navigations? First, which one will execute, and then second, which one, third, which one?
Okay. First update will execute, then the retrieval will execute.
Retrieval, when it will execute, what kind of navigation user has to do to execute the retrieval?
If you open entity, then we have to see the records of that particular entity. Then at that time, we have to give the retrieval message.
Then user first select entity, then after only he will open and execute update record, right? So
Yeah.
in that case, only retrieve multiple will execute first, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the second plugin,
Second plugin will be update.
and the third one.
Third one is create.
So when can we trigger the retrieve? Retrieve what action user has to do to execute the retrieve plugin?
When we open the form, like if you on loading of the form, we can execute the retrieve message.
Then which one is second? Second, which one will execute?
Okay. First, we'll execute retrieve multiple and then retrieve and then update.
Yeah, that's the correct sequence, right?
Okay.
Fine. So can I add the post image on the pre-operation plugin?
No, we can't add the post image on the pre-operation. If you add like that, it will throw an error message like we can't add like this.
Can I add the pre-image like on the post-operation plugin?
Pre-image on the post. No, we can add the post image on the post-operation plugin.
We cannot add the pre-images on post-operation plugin.
Yeah, we can add. We can add.
Okay. So can I convert my post-operation plugin into asynchronous?
Yeah, post-operation. We can convert the post-operation plugin in asynchronous.
Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible.
Can I convert my pre-operation plugin into asynchronous plugin?
No, no, it's not possible. Why? Because pre-operation works before the save operation, but asynchronous will execute after the main operation. That's why it's not possible.
So can you just explain about the pipeline stages?
Yeah, in plugin, we have three pipeline stages: pre-validation, pre-operation, and post-operation. Pre-validation means, like if you want to execute the plugin before the security checks, then one will go for the pre-validation. and pre-validation rollback is not work. And pre-operation, if we want to execute the plugin on pre-operation before it going to the server, then the pre-operation plugin will execute. And then coming to the post-operation, post-operation plugins will work after the save operation. Means the data saved into the server, then only the post-operation plugin will work. And rollback is work for both pre-operation and post-operation.
Yeah, okay. So can you just give me the any example for these three stages?
Like in pre-validation, if you like, for suppose we have some form, before suppose if you want to give, we want to enter the valid data, but we without adding valid data, if you click on the submit button, then will it goes to the goes mail to the manager, like user enter the record, like the for the type of scenarios we will go for the pre-validation plugins. And coming to the pre-operation plugins, if you want to execute like uh, execute the if you want to populate the parent record information in the child record information, then at the type of scenarios we will go for the pre-operation plugins. And then coming to the post-operation, if you want to restrict the operations, like if you for suppose if you have a requirement like if for suppose one user fills the like some type of appointments, then for that type of restrictions we will go for the post operation plugins.
Like I have given some examples in the document, right? Have you checked?
Yeah, sir, I didn't check that one actually.
So in the interview related documents, there is a Excel
Yeah,
plugin
yes.
pipeline station. There we have the examples as well. You can
Okay.
highlight them.
Okay, sir.
And let's say I have a requirement. So on the account record update, I do have the two plugins. One is synchronous, another one is asynchronous. So whenever user update the record, the plugins will execute. So which one will execute first out of these two?
Synchronous plugins will execute first.
Mm-hmm. So let's say I have the three plugins on account record update. Okay. So one is asynchronous and the other two is synchronous.
Okay.
So which one will execute first?
Synchronous plugins will execute first, but based on the execution order, we can tell them like which one will first.
Okay. Asynchronous plugin execution order I entered as a 1, then synchronous plugin entered as a 2, other synchronous plugin entered as a 3. So in this scenario, which one will execute first?
Second synchronous plugin with two value will first, and then three, and then async with one will execute last.
Okay. So let's say my second plugin, as per your answer, I have the plugin 3, right?
Yeah.
So the third plugin is getting failed. I got exception. So what will happen to other two plugins?
The other two plugins will executes. Only async plugins will fail.
No, like in the execution sequence, I have the synchronous plugin and other two is synchronous. Let us name it as a synchronous 1, synchronous 2, and asynchronous 3. So my
Okay.
asynchronous 2 plugin is failed. What will happen to other two? Sorry, synchronous 2 is failed.
Okay. On the same event, right, sir?
Yeah, three of them into the same event, update of the record, particular field.
Okay.
So synchronous 1, synchronous 2, asynchronous 3. So synchronous 2 plugin failed. So what will happen to other two plugins?
If synchronous plugin will fail, then other synchronous plugin also will fail. And coming to the asynchronous plugins, it will also fail.
Asynchronous also fail, is it? Will it execute first of all? Asynchronous one?
No. If it fails, then other synchronous plugins also not execute
How can
because
we how can we do impersonation in plugin? What are all
okay.
possible ways?
Uh, Impersonation we can do in three possible ways. We can set the option as run in user context as admin, and other one is calling user, and other one is system disabled. If you want to execute plugin with the current like login person, then we can give the calling user context, running user context as calling user. If you want to execute the plugin with admin context, then we have to give the running user context as admin. If you want to execute plugin with if you want to transfer solutions from one environment and then for that GUID purpose, we have to use the system disabled one.
Okay. So what is importance of filtering attributes in plugin?
Filtering attributes. Okay. If you want to execute the plugin within only for specific field subject, then we will go for the filtering attributes. This is the importance of the filtering attributes.
So when do we use the associate message?
Associate. Okay. If you want to populate the lookup, at that time you will use the associate message, and we have to give the secondary entity as a child entity. At that time you will use the associate message.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So can I? Yeah, fine. S- What are all images are there in plugin?
We have two images, pre-image and post-image. Pre-image will gives us the old values of the plugin, and post-image will gives us the new values of the plugin.
How can we avoid infinite loop in plugin?
By using the plugin depth concept, we can avoid the infinite loops in plugin. Depends on the condition. Like if context of greater than one, then it will give us the if it written the code for the maximum value is 8. If it is greater than it, then it gives us the infinite loops.
Okay, I have a requirement. I do have the two entities, account and contact. Account is a parent, contact is a child.
Okay.
Okay, an account entity, I have the multiple fields. So if I update the one of the field, account mobile number or account number, so I want to update all the child records as well with the same phone number. Okay, so
Okay.
is requirement clear?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So what is the approach to use for this particular requirement?
We have to use this particular requirement using the retrieval plugins and JavaScript and workflows.
Is it possible with workflow?
Yeah.
So how can we do with the workflow?
Oh, sorry, it's not possible with the workflow because we have to update all the associates and record rights. So it's
Mm.
not possible with the workflow.
So plugins and JavaScript is a. So in
Possible.
the
Yeah.
yeah, JavaScript, what is the event to use?
What is the updates? We have to update.
Do we have update event in JavaScript? What are
Sorry,
all
sorry.
events are there in JavaScript?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. On like on change of the and on save.
So what are all events are there in JavaScript?
On change, on field change, on form load, and on form save.
So for this particular requirement, what is the event to use if you go with JavaScript?
But event should be on save, sir.
On save is it?
Yeah.
So let's say the JavaScript will trigger even if I change other fields as well. So how do you manage? I want to trigger only if user update the phone number only. If user updates some other fields, I don't want to execute my logic. So how do you manage this scenario?
We can add it on the on field chain, then we can manage it.
So if I add it on the on field change, if user did not save, he just changed the field and he did refresh, then the field will not update, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
on save is correct, but
On load also,
yeah,
we can give on load.
no, on save is correct option only.
Okay.
But the question is, how do we manage our logic? It's supposed to execute a process only if user update phone number, not on the other fields.
We can give on the phone number field. We can add event on the phone number field as a field change event. So then we
If
can,
if I add it on the field change, so as soon as user changed the field, he came out, it will execute, right?
yeah,
But what will happen if user did not save? He just changed the field and he did not save the form and
okay,
he did refresh. That means old value only will be there in the account level, right?
yeah,
But in the contact level, all records will be updated with the latest value. So that's
okay,
a bug, right?
yeah, yes,
So on save is correct option only. Do you know I is dirty?
yeah,
What is the
yes.
purpose of is dirty?
EZT field is only worked on the only specific field updates. Like if the form is on save only, at that time we will use the is field dirty.
So is dirty. What is the purpose of is dirty? How can we identify if field is dirty or not?
Mm. On the form we have fields, right? For suppose we have to update the fields, at that time we will use the field dirty concept. So at that type of scenarios we will use the field dirty concept. Like by using the scenario like form context should get event outset is field dirty.
Can you just let me know syntax to set a field as field visibility using JavaScript?
Yeah, we can set field as visible.
What is the syntax? Do we need to use?
Form context dot get control of like dot set visibility as field schema name and dot set with true as true. Then we can set the visibility of the field.
Okay. So what is the syntax do we use set to lock the field and the form?
Okay. Form context dot get control of field schema name dot set disable true. Then we can log the field on the form.
Okay. Fine. Like what is the syntax for the retrieve? xrm.webapi.retrieve.
Yeah, sir. In that xrm.web API retrieve, it takes three parameters like entity logical name, GUID, and what and all fields are we have to pass, and then we have to pass, and then success callback and error callback. That is the syntax of the xrm.web API retrieve.
So while you are working with the plugin, what is the most complex task you have implemented in your career?
Okay. uh, in plugin I have implemented exception plugins like if for suppose one user exceeds the appointments, then by using the throw new exception plugin, we at that type of scenarios I have involved in. This is the most difficult task I have involved in the plugins. And one more thing is by using the images also we can if you want to to make the audit history depends on the parent entity, it should be auto populate in child entity. For the type this kind of scenarios also I have involved more complexity.
Okay. So what is the complexity you have faced?
Yeah. Okay. Like I have like if pre-image works on which operation and post-image works on which operation, and we have to add steps on images on which for this kind of scenarios I have faced some type of complexities.
Okay, so in the previous example, Like on update of account entity, I want to update all the child records. You mentioned there are two ways. One is JavaScript, other one is plugin, right?
Yeah.
So if you go with the plugin, so what is the event do you use?
What is the event?
Yeah, triggering event, which one do you use? Message, I mean message.
Yeah, it's update.
Update. Okay. So what is the logic to use inside the code?
By using the retrieve multiple syntax, organization service that retrieve multiple. By using that syntax, I have implemented this logic.
Let's say
And
I
then,
have the one account is having the around 20,000 of contacts.
okay,
So in that case, what do you use?
okay. At that case, I have used the, like in plugins, we have one concept called pagination concept. By using this concept, we can execute the type of records.
So what is pagination? What is the purpose of pagination?
So, if it records more than 5,000, retrieve multiple does not take that records. For this kind of scenarios, we will go for the pagination concepts. And we have another concept called as execute multiple request. For this kind of scenarios, we will use that one also.
What is a timeout value plugin?
2 minutes.
So can we execute 20,000 records within 2 minutes? Is it possible if you go with the plugin?
No.
Mhm. Okay, fine. So let's say I have a requirement, an account entity. There is a field phone number, phone number update. So I do have the JavaScript. I do have the plugin. I do have the workflow. I do have the Power Automate flow as well on single field update. So which one will execute first? What is the sequence?
First client side logic, so we should JavaScript will execute first, and then business rule, and then
Is-
workflows, and then Power Automate flow, and then plugin.
So plugin will execute last, is it?
Yeah,
So Power Automate flow is a synchronous or asynchronous?
Power Automate flow is asynchronous
Then why plugin will execute last?
because we have given some custom code, right? So it takes some time, but Power Automate flow requires low code. That's the main reason we will go for the Power Automate flow.
That's wrong actually. You check it practically
Okay.
and fine. So I do have another requirement. So the requirement is I have a discount field on product entity. Discount field I want to enable for editing only for the managers, and for the others it should show as a read only. So how can we achieve?
Should only for managers. Okay. By using the business rule, we can do this one.
How do we do with the business rule? Did you
So,
understand the requirement?
could you please repeat that once
So
again?
the requirement is I have one field
Yeah.
and product entity. Field is a discount. Discount field I want to enable for editing if I log in with a manager. If I log in with other than manager or salesperson, it should be read only, not editable.
Okay. We can uh, we can do it by using the security role concepts.
Security role is a.
Yeah.
So how do we do with security role?
For manager, we can give the particular permissions he can see, but
It's a
as some
field
other
level,
person.
not a record level, right?
So okay, we have to give like field level security for that. For
Mm-hmm.
that particular field, we have to give some security level.
Okay, fine. So, like, did you implement any JavaScript in your projects?
Yeah, sir.
So can you just give me the like scenario for which you have implemented JavaScript recently?
Yeah. I implemented like how to for some ribbon workbench using JavaScript. I have involved in that one. For example, like if you want to add some buttons on the form level, for that we have to download the ribbon workbench, and then we have to prepare one solution with related entity, and then we have to add this some buttons on the form level, and then we have to add the some commands, and we have to add some button names, and then we have to add display rules and enable
Yeah,
rules.
that's fine. Scenario, just explain the scenario. The
Okay.
process is fine. What is a scenario? Business scenario.
Yeah. For example, if you log in as manager, then approve and reset buttons should visible to manager only. If you log in with salesperson, then those buttons are not visible for that salesperson. For that, we have implemented one function, and we have given some if condition, like if login user is equal to current login user, current login, then at that type of scenarios, I have implemented the JavaScript.
So how do you get the current logged in user security roles
Okay.
using
XR
JavaScript?
xrm.utility.get global context dot user settings dot roles.
Okay. So what is the difference between display rules and enable rules?
Okay. Display rules will work for the server side logic, and without coding it will works, and it will work for the visibility of the buttons. While coming to the enable rules, it work for client side logic, and we need some coding, and it works for the button clickability and visibility.
Let's say I have a requirement. I do have the one of the custom button, an account entity.
Okay.
So I have the account type drop down. So if account type, I have the option individual and organization. So if account type is individual, then only I want to show the button. If account type is organization, I want to hide the button. So how do we achieve?
Phone type is organization. We should enable that button.
Account type is individual, I want to show the button. If account type is organization, I want to hide the button.
Okay. By using the visibility concept JavaScript, we have to do that one.
Visibility concept means which one do you use?
Like we have some concept, some syntax, like if you select that field, uh, then we have that set visibility is there for that
Set
one. We have.
visibility is for fields, right? But I want to here I want to show and hide the button, not fields.
Okay, we have to add that some display rules, and we have some options that values are there. For that, we have to take it from values. From that, we have to add it in the display rules.
What are all options are there in display rules?
Display rules.
What kind of display rules we can add? How can we pass the form context from ribbon workbench action?
We have an by using the primary control, we can set the form, pass the form context.
Okay. So how can we handle the exceptions in Power Automate flow?
We can handle the exceptions in Power Automate by using the scope concepts. Uh, in scope, in it has we have an option like configure run after. In that we have four options like is successful, has failed, is skipped, and has timed out. Depends on that action, and we have to exception to mail only. We
Hmm.
can handle exception in Power Automate Pro like this.
What are all actions you have used in Power Automate flow?
Okay. In Power Automate Pro, I have used some get rows, list or update a row, and some controls, some conditions. Those type of actions I have used in the Power Automate Pro.
Do you have any integration experience?
Yeah, I have integration experience.
Uh, what kind of components you have used for integration?
I have used Power Automate Flow and Microsoft inbuilt API and SSIS package and .NET Web API.
Okay. So what type of automate flows are there?
In Automate Pro, we have three types: automated, scheduled, and instant. If we want to automate the flow within some triggers, then we have to go for the automated. If you want to trigger the flow in some scheduled, like reminder emails, for that for purpose, we have to go for the scheduled flow. And if you want to trigger the flow with the button click, then we have to go for the instant for automate flow.
Okay. So what is bound and unbound in Power Automate flow actions?
Okay, it comes under customer. Bound means it related to some specific entities. Coming to the unbound, it related to any entity. That is a difference between
In
them.
Power Automate flow.
Yeah,
What what are all variables are there in Canvas app?
we have three variables: global variable, context variables, and collections. And context variables can access only in single screen, and global variables we can access across the app. So we can call it from the multiple screens. And then coming to the collection, it will hold only table type of records.
So what is concurrency control?
Okay. Mainly concurrency control is used for the improve the performance and to reduce the duplicate records. We can add concurrency control in triggering and like triggering point and for loop. And concurrency we have at triggering point we have optional settings, and that we have to add concurrency control. We have limit like 100. If you want to add it as execute one by one record, at that time we have to give the limit to 1. And then coming to the for loop, it by default maximum limit is 50, and we have to set that one as 1. So concurrency control is used to execute the request one by one. For this type of scenarios, we will use the concurrency control.
So what is delegation
Delegation.
in Canvas app?
I don't have idea actually.
Fine. So how can we share Canvas app?
To other users,
Yeah.
by using we while developing the canvas app, we have a download option, or we can getting the some URL. By using that one, we can share that canvas app to other users.
Okay. How can we control the security for Canvas app?
Security.
Yeah.
In this also we have some roles for by using that roles also we can control that app.
Okay. Let's say I have a requirement. So I have implemented JavaScript. Okay. And
Okay.
I added on the field change, one of the field change in the account entity. Account revenue is there. So account revenue field change, I added the JavaScript. Okay.
Okay.
So, but account revenue, if I change manually, then JavaScript will execute, right? So that's
Yeah,
well and good. So what will happen if I change the account revenue using business rule? So will my JavaScript execute?
actually client side logic will execute first, so JavaScript will execute, so business rule will execute last.
No,
If
no, I am not asking which one will execute first. You understand the question. So my question is account revenue field change, I have the JavaScript. If I
okay,
change the account revenue value manually, then JavaScript will execute. That well and good. But if I set the field value, account revenue field value using the business rule. So I'm using another business rule. I'm changing the account revenue value. If I select, there is a account type field. If account type is individual, I'm setting account revenue as 10,000. If account type is organization, I'm setting revenue as 1000. So this one I'm doing using the business rule. So using business rule, I'm changing the value, right? Account revenue value, right?
Yeah.
So what will happen with the JavaScript? Will it trigger or not?
So, yeah, it will trigger.
So you check practically
Yeah,
and
okay.
see. Uh, so can I execute my business rules in the quick create form?
Business rules and quick create from.
Huh.
Yeah, we can execute by setting scope at the all forms. Then we can execute.
What is scope in business rule?
We have three types. One is entity and all forms, and specific form or information. If you set scope as entity, then it will work for the both client side and server side. If you set scope as all form, then it will work for the all the forms in that form. And if you set scope as the specific form, if you have multiple form, if you want to execute the business flow on that specific form, then we will use that specific form.
Okay. So what are all field types are there in CRM?
We have like field types like single line of text, field types, okay,
Hmm.
types single and calculated, simple and calculated.
Field data types.
Field data types, single line of text, multiple lines of text, option set, two option set, currency, date and time, uh, and calculated and roller fields like that.
So what is difference between roller field and calculated field?
Roll-up fields will works only for the child entities, and calculated will works only for a specific entity. If you want to, roll-up fields work for the aggregate functions, and calculated fields won't work for the aggregate functions. And if you want to do instant mm, uh, automate the calculation, then we'll go for the calculated fields. And then we have to roll-up fields, so we don't do automatic calculations. And then roll of fee, we have some aggregate function like min max, that type of average, that type of functions we will go for the roll of fields. And then coming to the calculated fields, it will have some functions like add in days, define years, define months, and define weeks. For that type of we will go for the calculated fields.
What is difference between real-time workflow and background workflow?
Yeah, okay. In real-time workflow, page refresh is not needed. While coming to the background workflow, page refresh is needed. And in real-time workflow, user need to wait for the wait up to the operation completed. And the background workflow, user no need to wait. And we have to and real-time work, so we don't have wait condition. And background workflow, we have wait condition. And coming to the real-time workflows, if you want to stop the user action by using the status as cancelled, and we can send the error message to the user by using this real-time workflow. While coming to the background workflow, it is not possible, we can't stop the user action. And real-time workflow will work for the you owner of the workflow, and the user who log into that changes to the record, we can change that option in the real-time workflow. While coming to the background workflow, it will works only for the owner of the workflow. That is the difference between these two.
So when you compare JavaScript with the business rule, so what is the limitation we have with the JavaScript?
Limitation with the JavaScript.
When you compare with the business rule.
Actually, both are used for the client side, but yeah, JavaScript will work for showing the heights, show and hide the sections and subgroups. For this kind of scene, we will go for the JavaScript. While coming to the business rule, it doesn't have that type of option.
Yeah, but that is business rule limitation, right? But I'm
Yeah.
asking about the JavaScript limitation. Compare with the business rule.
JavaScript limited. Yeah. It will not work for the server side, but business rule work for the both client and server side.
Okay, fine. So what is the difference between workflow and plugin?
Okay. Uh, in workflow, we have the wait condition. In plugins, we don't have the wait condition. And in workflows, we have limited actions. And then coming to the plugins, we have n number of actions. And then coming to the workflows,
Mm.
that is the difference between them.
So I have enabled the one of the field for security, and so I don't have the read access. I logged in as a my login account. I don't have the read access since it's enabled for the field security. So
Okay.
can I retrieve data using the plugin
Data using.
with my login?
Yeah, we can use the impersonation concept.
No, I want to execute as a current logged in user. My plugin is executing as a current logged in user. Current logged in user don't have access to the field. But if I try to get the data inside plugin, what will happen? If I try to read one of the field which is not enabled for read access to the current logged in user. So what will happen with my code?
The plugin will won't execute.
So will it get any exception?
It will like don't have permission. This view permission, that type of exception we will get.
So you understand, did you understand the question?
Actually, I have some confusion.
Let's say account entity, account organization field is a account organization field enable for the field security. So I log into the system. I have the one of the plugin. So inside that plugin, I'm trying to read the account organization field. We can use the get set syntax, right? Inside the
Yeah,
plugin.
yeah.
So I'm using the get syntax. I'm trying to read the that particular field value inside my plugin. So if the current logged in user does not have read access, then what will happen? That is the question. Is question clear?
Current login user is doesn't have the read access, so
Read access to the field, but he's trying to read the
field data
field value using the plugin.
plugin. Actually, I don't know, sir.
Okay, fine. Uh, have you implemented Power Automate Pro in your project?
Yes, I have involved in this.
So what is the scenario? Can you just explain the scenario?
Yeah, okay. For suppose like if you want to if you have two entities like parent entity and child entity, if you want to populate the child entity parent entity information common fields on the child entity, at the type of scenarios I have used Power Automate Flow. For that have used triggering entity for that parent change on the child entity triggering action. And then coming to the actions, I have parent entity. From getting the data, we will use the get a row for that get a row by id. So why? Because we are it is used for retrieving that action. I have used to get the data for that one, and then I have to update in the Dataverse. For this kind of scenarios, I have used it.
Okay. Yeah, fine. So Yeah, so when you compare the workflow with the Power Automate flow, what is the limitation with the Power Automate flow?
Okay. For automate flow, it looks only for the asynchronous, whereas coming to the workflow, it works for both synchronous and asynchronous. And Power Automate flow don't load more data. That is the limitation between these two.
If we want to process more than 20,000 records in Power Automate flow, how do we process?
Yeah, we can use the pagination concept. By using that one, we have to enable that one and we have to set threshold limit.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Uh, do you have experience with SSRS reports?
Yeah. Uh,
So how can we get the current record data in SSRS report? How can we get the current record data? Have you implemented any SSRS report? Hello? Priyanka, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, fine, Priyanka. So you almost good. So you maintain same. You keep attend the interviews. Interviews అనేది attend అవ్వండి.
okay,
And
sir.
you try to record the interviews as well. Possible. You see the possibility how to record so that you can analyze yourself. ఇంటర్వ్యూ కంప్లీట్ అయిన తర్వాత మీరు అనలైజ్ చేసుకొని ఎక్కడ ల్యాగ్ అవుతున్నారు ఏంటి అనేది నోట్ డౌన్ చేసుకొని ఇంటర్వ్యూ టు ఇంటర్వ్యూ నెక్స్ట్ ఇంటర్వ్యూకి ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్ ఉండాలి.
Okay,
సో
sir.
అలా నోట్ డౌన్ చేసుకోండి. అండ్ సో హౌ ఈజ్ అవర్ కోర్స్? మీ కోర్స్ ఎలా అనిపించింది?
యాక్చువల్లీ మీకు తెలిసినట్టు నేను ఆల్రెడీ కోర్స్ తీసుకున్నా. కంపేర్ టు దట్ ఇట్స్ సో ఫార్ బెటర్. అండ్ అక్కడైతే నాకు అసలు ఏమీ లైక్ వాట్ ఈస్ వాట్ అంటే మీ దగ్గరకు వచ్చిన తర్వాత లైక్ హౌ సినారియో బేస్డ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసిన తర్వాత దెన్ ఐ హ్యావ్ గెట్ సమ్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్. అండ్ బిఫోర్ దట్ ఆల్సో ఇలా టాకింగ్ అనేది కూడా లేదు. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ యూ ఓన్లీ ఐ గాట్ దిస్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్. అండ్
గ్రేట్.
yeah, and compared to all other ones, in I have take training from the so many institutes. I never seen this type of like this type of work like assignments. Because of assignments only, we will get more contents and also doubt sections and mock interviews. These are all improve. We will get improvement.
యా యా. సో యాక్చువల్లీ మీరు ఎన్ని అవర్స్ స్పెండ్ చేశారు డైలీ అసైన్మెంట్స్కి?
Nearly like 2 to 3 hours. Depends on the requirement. And if I get any errors, then it will take more time.
గుడ్. సో మ్యాక్సిమం అన్ని టాపిక్స్ కవర్ చేశారు ఇంటర్వ్యూలో, చెప్పగలిగారు. సో వెల్
Okay.
అండ్ గుడ్. రియల్ ఇంటర్వ్యూస్ కూడా అటెండ్ అవ్వండి. ఒక 2-3 అటెండ్ అయితే మీ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ బిల్డ్ అవుతుంది ఆటోమేటిక్గా. యూ
Okay.
షుడ్ మేనేజ్ బై యువర్ ఓన్. లెట్ సి.
Oh,
బెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ లక్ ప్రియాంక.
thank you, sir. And way of like answering and ఏమైనా చేంజ్ చేసుకోవాలి. It's fine.
It's a perfect. You maintain same. That's good enough.
Okay.